Estate planning has changed for real estate investors. Attorney Steve Brightstone is here to explain. So Steve, you said income is no longer a throwaway. What did you mean by that?
Well, the income tax side of estate planning used to be something that people would largely ignore because income tax rates were much lower than the estate tax rates. But today, the considerations have changed dramatically because you have much higher exemptions. So a lot of estates are not even subject to estate taxes. And you have lower estate tax rates. Rates have come down to 40%. The income tax rates have now gotten significantly higher than they used to be. They're higher than they've been in decades. In addition, with real estate, which is a specific type of asset, you have a phenomenon called negative capital that arises, where the debt on the property exceeds the income tax basis. And that represents a built-in income tax liability that is phantom. It's a tax liability that would be triggered, but there's no value associated with it currently. So it's subject to tax for income tax purposes, but there's no value that's subject to estate and gift tax, and therefore it can be the 800-pound gorilla in the room. The income tax built in those types of assets can be much greater than any potential estate tax. So you have to plan for that. More important than it's ever been.
What about the whole idea of a step-up? Step-up is pretty important in real estate, right?
Yes, absolutely, and that's the way you plan for those types of assets. One of the things that our tax system allows is upon death, all of the built-in income tax gain and appreciation goes away. Your income tax basis gets stepped up to its fair market value. And when you talk about these assets with so-called negative capital, that's like a free ride because there's no, again, value there, but you get a free income tax basis step up that can eliminate a tremendous tax liability.
So knowing how estate planning has changed for these investors, what should they be doing differently?
Well, historical estate planning techniques like GRATs, installment sales to intentionally defective grantor trust, they don't really work for these types of assets because they deny the step up. They don't deal with that income tax side at all. You need to look at other ways of freezing asset values. The key to this type of planning is to freeze asset values so that you don't have growth that increases the amount that will eventually be subject to estate tax. So you can do that by using like a partnership freeze, where you retain an interest in the partnership, and if it's structured properly, all of that negative capital and the current value of the assets can be left in the estate, and therefore they get a basis step up upon death. That eliminates that negative income tax history, but it still allows appreciation of assets to get outside of the estate.
Thanks, Steve.